Hey, everybody. I just wanted to come really quickly and share a couple of things with you guys because sometimes I feel like it's like a wave of stuff that we're going through at the same exact time. And I wanted to share this with you because I just saw this and it came to me in a message and it was so timely for me. It was so timely. It was like right on time. And I just wanted to reach out to you guys because I thought perhaps it could be for somebody else. Do you know how important it is to realize your worth and your value? A lot of times people say that you're not supposed to think high about yourself and all this other stuff. And here's what I submit. I submit that if you at least take the worth and the value that the Most High put in you and you begin to at least understand who you are in Him, that you should walk with some expectation of value, that you should hold value within yourself. And so oftentimes you'll find people who are really not meant for you or meant to be in your circle. And oftentimes, what happens with us is because we've got people in our circle, we really think that they are supposed to be there for an eternity. Some people are there for a moment, some people are there for a lifetime, some people are there for a season, and some people are there for a reason. And the reason generally will be to be a test or a trial for you. Now, I know there's a lot of people that says, well, you know what, God ain't gonna test nobody. He not gonna do this. But you know what? I believe that some of our areas that we're weakest in, those are the areas that we get the trials. Those are the areas that when we sometimes talk to ourselves and say, well, you know what, I just really need patience. Don't you know that as soon as you start talking about patience, then you get swept with all of these trials that make you have to practice that particular virtue. And so the statement that I want to say today is that sometimes you just have to be at peace with the fact that you're not for everybody. Sometimes you have got to be at peace with the fact that you're not for everybody. Not everybody is going to like the way you walk, like the way you talk, like the way you think, like the things you say. There's going to be an opportunity where even people that used to walk really closely knit with you, where you guys will meet that fork in the road, and you'll find that you've got to veer off to the right and they've got to veer off to the left. Why? Because the mindset's split off and they're changed now. And two cannot walk together unless they agree. So sometimes you have to be at peace with the fact that you are not for everybody. But you know what? You won't know that if you don't have value. If you don't know that you have value, you'll never know that. Hey, Marty, if you do not know that you have value, you will continue to walk in circles with people who you're trying to make want to be with you, want to hang out with you, want to listen to you, want to champion your ideas, and want to champion your thought process, and want to champion any project that you're working on. You will come to a point where you feel like ain't nobody listening to me, but I got to hang with this person because they've been with me forever. But here's what I want to tell you today. If you realize the fact that somebody does not notice that you are a queen, just by the way you carry yourself, listen, do you know that a true leader, they don't lord over people, they don't boss people around, they live by example. And if you're living by example and you're treating people good and you're treating people kind and you're right there for people when they need you, then that means you understand who you are and you understand the resources that you come with. But if people take those resources and they squander them, or they smirk, or they laugh at them, or they trample them underfoot like a pig does a pearl if it was inside of their pen, then that's telling you right there that those individuals, they just don't care. That's telling you that those individuals just don't want to get on your program. And that's also telling you that you might be in a dangerous situation. You might be in a dangerous situation. How can that be dangerous, Fifi? Because as you deposit all of your time, your resources, your love, your affection, your work ethic, if it's a work environment, if you do that and you sow all your time there, and that person does not even receive it, let Ray, you've done a good thing because the Father is going to want you to do what you need to do for anybody that you're around. But the biggest part is going to be that individual won't even see it. They won't even realize the value that you bring to the table. So sometimes you do have to be at peace with the fact that your back is what they need to see next. Oh boy. Sometimes you got to understand that if it's not working and you are pushing and you are depositing more than the individual that you are depositing into, say for example, you're depositing and that person not doing anything but taking, eventually somebody gonna run out of something. I submit it's you. You're going to run out of patience. You're going to run out of kindness. You're human. But see, sometimes we get these teachings mixed up and we believe that we're supposed to stand there and be a whipping post. We believe that we're supposed to be the paragon of perfection and all this virtue is in us. But who's depositing back if all you're doing is giving to a vessel that does not even value who you are? If they don't value who you are and you know your worth, sometimes you got to close up shop where you set up shop. Sometimes you go in and you set up shop and you realize, hey, you know what? This is working for a minute. It looked good. Everything's going great. I'm here depositing all that I can for this job. Well, the place doesn't open until 8 o'clock and I'm not supposed to punch in until 8. But guess what? I'm in the parking lot at 7:15. And when they open up the door at 7:40, I'm the first one in. And then exactly at 8 o'clock, I go and I punch in. I'm standing there with bated breath at the time clock, waiting to go on in. And you go on in and you start doing your thing. And then you see people who are jealous of the fact that you're doing your gig and you're doing it well. Why? Because you know that you're a success when you're doing well at what you're putting your hand to. Then you got people who don't even give a rip. As a matter of fact, they just throw everything on you and laugh at the fact that you do your work. Well, eventually, you'll find that there's an opportunity for you to move on. You'll find that there's an opportunity for you to move on, but then you feel like you're invested. Oh, no, I can't leave them. They need me. No, they don't need you. They have laughed at you. They have squandered all of your talents. They have talked about you. They have treated you poorly. And now, because you have passed this particular test, it is time for you to move on. And you stand in your own way from success because you believe that you're supposed to be pushed to the limit. You're supposed to have it hard sometimes. Sometimes you're thinking, well, you know what? It's not always going to be great. But if you've sown and all of a sudden you get a better job opportunity that's going to pay you what you're worth because somebody had the audacity to see your value. Now you want to give to the company that's treated you like trash and say, well, no, I can't leave. I've been here all of these years. Really? And all the times that your feet were tired and your back was aching and everything was hurting and you wasn't making enough to make ends meet and you had to put the can of beans back because you couldn't afford it. You still sewing into this family-owned company because you truly and honestly believe in what they stand for. And they are crapping on you every single day. Let me tell you something, brother, my sister, when that door open, you better run through that and you better understand that opportunity comes. But what I want you to understand from the jump is not everybody is going to see your value. Not everybody is going to appreciate who you are, but you've got to be ready to accept the fact that you ain't for everybody. You're not for everybody. That goes for family too. Don't you know that sometimes you can be considered the black sheep of the family because your thought process is, I believe that the Father is going to supply all of my needs according to his riches and glory. And people around you are saying, nah, that ain't true. You got to get up and do this and that. Well, hey, I get up and I go to work every day. So why can't I make that confession? Why can't I say that? Oh, she's always too positive. Oh, she lives out in a fairy tale. Oh, she lives over here. Oh, her mind is always out in the clouds. Oh, she never has. But she's never been normal. Something's not right with that. Something's not right with that. Well, you know what? Sometimes you got to cut those people off. You got to realize, even though this is my family, not everybody, not everybody is going to be ready to see the value in you. Not everybody's going to be ready to see the value in me. And again, sometimes you have to be at peace with the fact that you ain't for everybody. How about the marriage? How about the marriage? You guys know that I believe that sometimes certain things just change. So when you get up to a certain age, I remember when you're younger, right? When we were younger, we were thinking, well, I won't be going through these kinds of things as I get older. Boy, I can't wait to get older. I'm not going to go through X, Y, or Z anymore. I'm not going to feel like, oh, goodness gracious. Or I'm so glad I don't have to deal with what does and such has to deal with. And as we get older, things will change. That person will get better. And that person will. Do you realize that a woman or a man can sit there and be a whipping post for somebody who's not worth their salt? They are not worth their weight in feathers. They're not worth a bag of hair. But you will sit there and you will be treated badly. You will be ridiculed. You'll be talked about. You will be treated in a fashion that is very embarrassing. You'll be an embarrassment in public. People will snicker behind your back, sir, but the stuff you do not know what she's doing. But you'll feel it. You'll feel it in the absence of love. You'll feel it in the absence of time. You'll feel it in the absence of being present when she needs to be. And you'll sit there because you think you're supposed to stay. You think you're supposed to stick it out. You think that if you become a martyr, that sometime, somewhere in the future, she's going to love you the way you've been loving her. My brother, you in your 50s and 60s, and all you need is a little corner with some space and a little bit of time. When that person decides they want to step out again, let them go. Why? Because when the unbeliever leaves you, you are free. Let them go. Don't go run back and go beg some broad who've been treating you like trash to stay with you. Conversely, madam, don't you do it either. Don't you do it either. Don't you do it either. You see somebody that's treating you like trash, let them go. Let them go. But see, what we do is we get our mindsets wrapped around this philosophy that tells us that it's okay, that it is okay for you to be treated like trash by somebody you made a vow with. If that person is not keeping their loyalty to you and they are now endangering your life by dragging stuff back to the house that you can't wash away with soap, sir, madam, who told you you had to hold to that? That you should be the martyr to leave here with something you can't get away with soap. Meanwhile, next page, they still doing their thing, floating on. Baby, you'd be better off to live in a cardboard box along an underpass over there at the 405 in California and mind your own business. I'm being real with you. Lee, I want to thank you so much for acknowledging the channel. Thank you so much for that love offering. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. But you'll be much better off by yourself, living in a cardboard Frigidaire box up under the 405 freeway with the peace of mind and knowing who you are. Why? Because sometimes you have to be at peace with the fact that you're not for everybody. We got this thing mixed up. There's a lot of folks, we really are running around here with it mixed up. We really are. We really are. You got the pastors that treat people bad. You got the pastors that treat parishioners like garbage, and people still go every single Sunday, sit right there in the same seat every single Sunday. Pastor may say their name. Pastor may say, oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, there goes sister such and such, and then talk about you like a trash bag, treat you like garbage. And then when you, if you fall ill and you ain't been to the church in a year because you fell ill, they don't even want to bury your rump. But you sit there in that church. You've seen them do it to other people. You see them do it to other people where a person has been going to this church forever, but because they had not been giving their tithes, I'm talking to somebody, whether you're here or in the replay, but because they have not been there to give their tithes, they will not let you have that person's funeral and their service at that church that they helped build. As a matter of fact, they got a brick in the front of the church with their name on it because they were one of the founding members of this church, and they needed family so badly that they attached themselves to a charlatan that didn't care nothing about them. But you see, you let scriptures that they use to manipulate your mind tell you that it's okay to sit there and be treated like trash. And I'm here to break that right now to let you know you don't got to sit there with people using you and taking every bit of your resources. You own a small CPA company where you had all kinds of different clients. and they want you to bring it all into the storehouse. Now, you know, sister, now, this Reverend Pork Chop, sister, you need to be bringing all of that CPA knowledge and that talent here to the church. And then they won't even pay you what they paid the cat they had before you. How is that right? There is a mentality that's among people who call themselves believers that make you think you're supposed to be a doormat. You are not. Please hear me. You are not. Turn the other cheek, they hit you in the back of the head. And then turn the other cheek, they hit you in the other cheek. And then when your cheeks are all gone and the back of the head is gone, and they're kicking you because you're down. Now they're going to step on you. I'm telling you what's real. I'm telling you what's real. I'm telling you what is real. I'm telling you. You feel me? I'm telling you. But everybody that does not understand your value and they leave you, let them go. Don't run after them. Don't chase them. Don't beg the job to keep you. They just released you into your blessing and you don't even know it. You sitting up here begging these people. Please don't fire me. You just don't understand. I need this job. Oh, I need this job. Dude, you were the company. And if you don't move out the way, the judgment that's about to come up on them is going to come up on you at the same time. Why? Because the Most High is getting you up out of there because they're about to get the judgment. See, the Father been seeing them treat you like trash. And you and everybody else that's like you. But you got to get out the way so that they can get their just reward. Same thing with that dude. Same thing with that chick that's tipping around on you, sir. That's doing all that she's doing. The last 2 kids you think you have by her, that's not your kids. Those are not your children. The last 2, them ain't yours. And now the people that she hanging out with, that she's sleeping around with now, she going to bring something back that's going to put you out of here, and she going to still keep going. Ain't going to be no medicine. Why? Because your time to move on, you allowed that door to close. And I'm telling you the truth. So somebody may not like it. Somebody may not like it. Somebody may say, hey, you know what? That's not right. You trying to tell people to leave. I'm telling you to run head for the hills. You doggone right. You doggone right. You doggone right. Run. Hurry up, run. Hurry up, run. Because if you don't run, the door will close and you will die in that mess simply because you did not realize that sometimes you have to face the fact and be at peace with the fact that you are not for every single body that comes your way. Baby, don't make nobody love you. They ain't going to have the capacity to do that. They don't have the capacity to love you because they don't understand love. But here you sit in the word and you understand what love is. It's patience. It's kind. It's long-suffering. It's wonderful. It's altogether lovely. But you are not to be a martyr to no mess. I ain't never seen it. I know a lot of, I know there's a lot of people that want you to just believe the turn. Sometimes you run out of cheeks, dude. Now, after they slap all 4 of your cheeks, what is it going to take? A house to fall on you? That company is never going to make you a millionaire. By peddling their wares the way that you have for the past 7 to 10 years is never going to make you a millionaire. They're never going to make you partner. They're never going to make you a lead. They're never going to make you a director because they need you to continue to be a drone, and they need you to continue to bring all of your resources, your talents, your time, your knowledge to the table so they can continue to reap the benefits of it. They won't move you from that area because they need you in that area because you're making it lucrative in that area, even though they're hiring people from the outside that come in the area that you want to go to and put them in that position, and they only last for 4 months and then they out again, and you could have been slid into that position. But you have not been taking the advances of their competitor because you're trying to be faithful to somebody that's still taking resumes daily for your job. I'm talking to somebody. I'm talking to somebody. So we got to understand something, that when you are trying to have peace in your life and the peace is not what was promised to you in the word, you have to begin to ask for wisdom. Ask him for wisdom. He will give it to you. Walk in love and ask him for wisdom. You know what? I don't think this is for me, because something is telling me this person's not receiving nothing I'm saying. They're still treating me pretty foul. And then I'm seeing different signs of things. The husband got a matchbook from the cat lounge. And the wife don't even know where that matchbook from the cat lounge came from. But he ain't been coming home. He been smelling a perfume that you don't rock. He wearing Coco Chanel and you don't have Coco Chanel. He got a little lipstick on his collar. And there go to cat lounge. And the bills ain't been paid right. And it's been going on for about the past 7 months now. And all of a sudden you feel a little itchy and you just don't know why. Your throat is starting to feel a little sore and you can't put your finger on it. No matter what you do, you can't put your finger on it. You just can't. You don't get the hugs anymore. You don't get any of that stuff anymore. As a matter of fact, no matter how good you cook, how clean that house is, all of a sudden, you don't get anything anymore. Nothing. Nothing. You can't put your finger, but you're going to stand because somebody told you to stay there. Somebody told you to stay there. And those are lies that are meant to attach good people to bad situations forever. Because you see, there's somebody out there that would appreciate you. There's either you by yourself, having your own business, building that business by yourself, gaining your own clients alone without having to deal with people who are talking bad about you, treating you poorly, laughing at you because you come in and you bless your food, for example, at the lunch break. You at your lunch break and you back there blessing your food and they tearing you to shreds, laughing at you left and right. And what you're thinking is, well, forget them, I don't care. But then that door opens and here come judgment. The door opens for the true believers to get on up out of Dodge. Haven't you ever had that happen where you left a situation, all of a sudden you look back and you be like, man, you should have seen what happened. I'm gonna tell you an example. Something happened to me. Something happened to me. And I was treated very poorly. But here's the thing. I had been sharpened already in my past by some circumstances and issues that allowed me to know that if the Most High put me in a circumstance, he must think a lot of somebody in this place. Because if you put me here, I'm here for somebody. So when I went into this new environment, I'll give you this example. I went into another environment, and as I got in there, I was like, "Ooh, this is not my kind of place." So then I started to tap my chin with my forefinger, and I began to say, who do you have me here for? Reveal them to me. Reveal them. And then all of a sudden he would reveal 1, 2, 3. Ah, those 3. Okay. And so I began to pour into those individuals' lives as he saw fit, as he gave me the knowledge and the information to pour into them and strengthen them and build them up and tell them that he's there for them. He's not forgotten about them. Now all of a sudden, here come my problems because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. Now, the people that see me building these people up, I'm going to give you an even better, more finite example. There was a woman who was a believer at a counter of a company that I was the cosmetics manager for. And this is one of those circumstances where I went in and I saw her. And when I saw her, I was like, okay, so it's her that I'm here for. They were giving this woman a meager income. This lady had been with the company for years, and she was at like $10 or $12 an hour, somewhere in between there. And what ended up happening was I'm beginning to look at her numbers. I'm looking at the company's numbers. I'm looking at LY. I'm looking at the year before that. This lady had begun to jump leaps and bounds every few months. Her counter was doing better than even the larger brands. She was running an Elizabeth Arden counter of all counters. She was kicking Lancome's butt. She was kicking Chanel's butt on LY. on last year's sales as to where those companies make more money overall. She was building her business continuously. You know why? She was building relationships with those clients. The very first day that they walked me around the store, they took me to each counter. And of course, they give you their synopsis. And by them, I mean the higher ups when they're introducing you, saying, oh, this is the new cosmetics manager, Felicia. So I'm going by and I'm not listening to what they're saying about these people. And mind you, they were talking pretty bad about this woman. Oh, we're going over here to crazy such and such's counter. She's such and she does this and that. I'm ignoring them. First of all, not only am I a cosmetics manager, I'm also in human resources, my friend. Okay. So I know that what you're doing right now is so off color, but I'm not paying attention or focusing with you because I'm looking at my team now. I said, hi, such and such, how are you? She says, oh, I'm so glad that you're here. I'm doing well. And I said, well, tell me about your business. When this chick started rattling off her numbers, I said, oh, here. Y'all don't know what y'all got over here. To myself, I'm thinking, okay, so I see her. I see one. This is the one I'm here for because he just confirmed it with the way he talking about her. And she just confirmed that she that one because she know her numbers. She's showed me her books. I said, well, let me see your book. I'm looking at all of her clients. They have been recently updated. What am I telling you? I'm telling you, this woman was a consummate professional who did not want to get involved in the junk because she didn't get involved in the politics at the company. She was there just to do her job, just to love on her customers, just to give them the best customer service that she possibly could. That this chick was rocking an Elizabeth Arden counter that was leaping over Chanel, leaping over Lancome, leaping over Estee Lauder, leaping over Bobby Brown. Baby, what? You mean to tell me some Red Door is better than the Christian Dior J'adore? You mean to tell me that? Oh, yeah, it was. So what did I do? I began to build this young lady up and I began to help her and I began to help others like her who began to say, thank you. You're a believer, aren't you? I know you were a believer. We were all talking about you in the break room, me and such and such and such and such. And that was the three that he had already revealed to me that they were the ones that I was there for. Baby, what? We took that chick and gave her more money, and I had to fight. And I lost a lot of friends in higher up places because they did not want this woman to make more money. They wanted to make her continue to work as hard as she was working for them and didn't want to pay this woman her worth. Let me tell you something. I said, do you realize that this lady would be making $19, $20 an hour plus her commission and her override if she was in any other store? Are you willing to take that? Are you willing to take that chance for her to leave this door and become your competitor down the road? I said, come on now. So they gave her another raise. They gave her a little one. And I went back again. I went back in a month. Hey, we need to look at this. We need to give her more. Well, we don't know. What do you mean? You just hired this person over here that's literally standing in the hallway talking to other people. When customers come up, they can't even get no service, but you can't pay her. Come on now. So they gave her a little bit more. The same with the other folks, began to groom them and help them in the way they are. So what am I telling you? What I'm telling you is sometimes you will be sent into an environment that you just don't understand what you're there for. You better get in there, find out who he sent you for. Why? Because you know your worth. Y'all knows your worth. And he know he's not just going to send you anywhere. So when he sends you and you say, and this ain't the job I thought it was, you better start looking around for who you're supposed to sow into and pour into and do your gig. And know that if you get some type of pushback, any ridicule or problems or any of that, he got you. Why? Because you're doing his work here in this earth realm. That's where people get it mixed up. I guess a lot of folks think that they're just going to get something to just jump from the sky and say, oh, it's yeah, here he comes. No, sir. No, ma'am. The way that it works is he puts you in positions and places to be able to help people. He puts you in positions and places to be able to help people so that when it comes down to them having the peace to be able to release something, they would have learned that from you because you would have given them their value. You would have acknowledged the fact that they know they got value. But listen, they're so humble. These are the humble ones. These aren't the ones that tell you where they was and what they did and how much and how we used to work. I used to work for YSL. I was working at Yves Saint Laurent Cosmetics and I was doing this and this and that. Well, dude, you're not here now. You're not there now. And right now, you standing in the hallway talking. I used to call it the Black Caucus because I would walk up on a whole bunch of my beauty advisors. They be all stuck together because everybody wears black. They all be all stuck together in a big glob. I'm like, hey, let's break this Black Caucus. They see me coming and scatter like roaches. Why? Because you need to be working. But this chick over here is doing her gig. So when you go into an environment and you see that it's not for you, you have to understand you ain't going to be there long. So you need to get in there. Don't try to make no friends. You need to get in there, do your job, stay the course, do what you're supposed to do, and he will release you. And mind you, as soon as I left this company, as soon as I warned them before I left, said, I'm giving you these keys. But I want to let you know, because I already got everybody in position. I had already gotten all the people hired that I wanted to bring in. I had already gotten all the people the money that they needed. I had done what I needed to do. I put my foot and my hand there and I did my gig. But I let them know before I go. I'm going to let you know something. You got a lot of people here that are treating people bad. And if you don't put your finger to those individuals, you are going to be the next person that leaves this place. And it will not be voluntarily as I am doing right now. It is going to be because you didn't do your job and somebody above you saw that your people were being treated poorly. And they're going to release you. And it's going to be because of that manager and that manager. You'll be out of here. Not 60 days after I told this woman. Not 60 days after I told her that the people that she had on the floor that were treating people poorly, running all of her staff out of there, good, hardworking people, they bounced her. They got rid of her. They got rid of her. They got rid of her. So what I'm trying to tell you is sometimes you have to be at peace with the fact that you're not for everybody. Get in, do your gig, do your best, do what you need to do, help who you're supposed to help. Remember that the Father is going to restore whatever it is that you had to give out. But remember, if you're dealing with people who are not depositing back in your life what you are depositing in their life, that is not a relationship that is healthy. Let that go, cut it off, keep it pushing, move on. I don't care who it is. I don't care what they do for you what they did for you in the past. Baby, the past ain't today. What have you done for me lately? What have you done for me lately? Sometimes you just have to accept that fact. So I'm here to tell you guys today that that was what was on my heart to share. And that is the reason why I want you guys to understand that the value that you have is yours. It's your quirkiness, your corniness, your sweetness, your what do you call it when you just sell out for what you put your hands to? Your passion, your zeal. It is unique to you. And you have such a sweet kindness about you. Most of you have such tenderness to you. You may even have an exterior that's outside of you that may be like an armadillo shell. But what's inside of you is so kind. And that armadillo shell only came because people who trampled your goodness underfoot made it like that. People who you've allowed to treat you poorly and you never really saw your value until today. That is the reason why that shell is there. But here's what I'm telling you right now. When you know your value and you make sure that you only have people around you that see that and treat you accordingly, when you demand the respect that you would give a stranger on the road, then you will be able to shed that shell quicker and faster, because there's nothing wrong with you having boundaries. There is nothing wrong with you telling people how you expect to be treated in love. You show them how you want to be treated. You only give when you know that this is the time and the person to give to. That's another topic for another day, but I'll tap it right here and say, oftentimes you find men walking into relationships while they're, excuse me, in the dating phase, and they're pouring out as if they were a husband. Conversely, you'll find women that are dating and they'll be pouring out as if they were a wife. And you're pouring it out on somebody who has not earned that part of you. They've not earned the right to see that vulnerability in you that would pour out that type of kindness and love. You see, when you are walking in that type of kindness and love, there's a specific level of vulnerability that you've had to expose to be able to give to somebody like that. If you're dating, you're not intimate with this person, you guys are just gone out on a couple of dates, and here you are telling him he can bring his laundry to your house. You're simply dating him. There is no intimacy. You guys have not made a commitment. You're grown, yes, and you're dating him. You have him at your house now, and now he's bringing his laundry to your house. You are giving him things that a wife would do for a husband, and you're not done vetting him. He's not done vetting you. You don't know everybody. You can't trust everybody off the top. You're getting to know one another. And while you're getting to know one another, continue to get to know them. Do not, gentlemen, go out here and pay people's bills the first month you meet them. They're never going to respect you the way that you think they should because you paid that bill. They're never going to say that they love you and do all the things that you want them to do simply because you paid their bills. They're going to see you as a mark buster. You are a mark. You are nothing more than just somebody that they can take something from. Why? Because they've not earned it, baby. People have to earn that. So do not, you give appropriately. You give appropriately. If you're dating, you've been on one date, you guys met at the Starbucks, you sat down, you got to know them, you went to the next place, maybe one time he pays, maybe one time she pays, depending on who offers the date. Hey, you want to meet me over here at a coffee shop? Let's go have a cup of coffee. You're getting to know each other. You don't go and cook for that dude right then. Oh, come on, let me cook for you. I'm going to nail this one down. Oh, wait till he tastes my grandmama's collard greens recipe. Oh, wait till he tastes my banana pudding. Oh, I make the best banana pudding. Can I do your clothes for you, dude? You will not only just be doing his clothes, madam, you're going to be doing whoever's clothes that's left at that house. Whatever chick slips something in that doggone basket, not knowing if he got another woman. Now, you better get this together. Y'all better see the scenarios that I am painting for you, because there is wisdom in what I'm telling you. You must use wisdom. And as I close, I want to tell you guys that if you feel like you are hearing this and you heard this in the back of your mind somewhere, I'm going to tell you that out of the mouth of two or more witnesses, let every word be established. So if you thought this or if you heard this before, that means this message is for you. This message is for you. I want to say thank you to Love and Hope, Marty Lauderdale, Big Bad John, Zara B, Rage Against the Machine, Lee Supernatural, Solemn Peace. I want to say to all of you, Dub Will. Hey, what's going on, Dub Will? Thank you for being here. I want to say for all of you all, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sandy, my sister. Hey, it's my armor bearer. And my sister from California, we went to church together, DC the Purple Diva. Thank you for being here, Princess. Thank you all for being here. Rage Against the Machine. You know I love you, boy. I love you. Okay? I want to tell you guys thank you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. Remember, if this was not for you, will you please do me a favor and share it to somebody else who may need it? Maureen, how are you? Huh? Will you do that for me? We name. Give it to somebody who needs it. Share it with somebody who needs it. Snuggle 668. Share it. Do that. Because there's a lot of sweethearts out here. There are a lot of sweethearts that really just want somebody to love them. Do you know how many people are lonely right now and they're inside of relationships and they get left at the house? Do you know that? They just want somebody to love, and they just want somebody to love them. And the bad part about it is they latch on. The people that latch on to those kinds of folks are users and abusers and dogs. Users, abusers, and dogs. Whether they're female or male, it's all the same. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here with us today. And I want you to remember what we always say on any Policia Lockhart Group publication, and that is that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High Yah. You guys take care of yourselves. And remember, After you take care of yourself, you can turn around and pull somebody else up and take care of them. But get you right first, mama, daddy. Get yourself together. And then until we see one another again, I want you to please continue to be blessed. I've always been a unique person, you know what I mean? Sort of laid back in a way, but very adamant and very passionate about what I believe. I think a lot of times that sort of throws people off because they don't expect me to have the mindset or the process of thought that I do. And so when you come in to watch my channel, you may hear a myriad of thoughts and ideas that could be different from others. What I want you to do is just sit back, like, share, and subscribe. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. Helping you along the way. Helping you to make it through another day.